gravity is all that I know. She's over me. She's over me. She comes with her hypnotic dance. She holds me here with only a glance. She's over me. She's over me. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome to the Paranormal Portal. I'm your host, Brent Thomas. We are just pumping away, ready to go. That didn't sound right at all. We are just ready to go here on the Paranormal Portal, and we're absolutely thrilled that you guys are here with us. And more are coming in all the time over on YouTube. Good to see you guys, and hello to the few of you over on TFR Live. Good to see you, Bam, Boy, Solomon, and Nightshade. Great to see you guys. And Sophia the Bot, of course. But we got them coming in. Don, they're coming in fast, and I do mean Don, my good friend and co-host, who is also here with me.
That would be me, making another Saturday night appearance here on the Paranormal Portal.
You are, and welcome back. Hope
you.
Everything's been going good.
Yeah, things have been kind of excellent. Got a good phone call the other day. That'll be exciting, and changes in the life. But yeah, all is good. Need a little more sleep still, though. That's still a problem.
Oh, thank you, the unknown. Very cool. We really appreciate your kindness and support. Outstanding.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Pharmacy, what did he say?
He's just doing shout-outs.
Oh, but lots of shout-outs. He put them all on the same place. Well played, sir. Well played. And hello to all of you guys. Hope you're having a great weekend. We are, of course, geared up for 2 full hours of paranormal fun here on the Portal, so we are thrilled you're here with us, and hopefully you'll enjoy the ride. We'll do our best to drive responsibly.
Get in, sit down, shut up. We're going through the portal.
That's it. We're heading in. Hang on. But yeah, everything's been going good. If you want to call in and be a part of the show, you're welcome to do so. If you've got something paranormal you want to share, we'd love to hear from you. The phone number for the show is 720-923-0500. Again, 720-923-0500. That's the way to get a hold of us here on the Portal. And I promise we'll answer as quickly as we know how. And it'll be very much incumbent on my ability to see it, but it's always good when Don's here because he helps me keep an eye on things.
It happens.
I'm not running at 100% today. I'm just feeling a little funky, but I'm going to give her my all. I'm actually feeling better than I did just a little bit ago. So that's always a plus. But bear with me. It's not like that'd be different than normal anyway, because you can tell the show is always live and unrehearsed. It's just it's live, raw, and in the very moments. A lot of the stuff we go into, we just come up with as we're going. We'll just hear something, see something, say something. A lot of times you guys will bring up something. Platypus. Yeah, that will stir and spur conversation. So if you got ideas of things that you want to bring to the table, we always love hearing that. And if any of you have ideas for shows that you'd like to see us do, by all means, email us at paranormalportalradio@gmail.com. Again, paranormalportalradio@gmail.com. And also, if you have a lot of paranormal stories, we'd love to get in touch with you and have you as a guest on our podcast. We love those. Love that. I just love it, Don.
Do you love that?
I'm so full of love. It's just crazy. I should
Wow.
be a Care Bear or something.
You should be like, the Baptist preacher.
I'm not even sure what that means.
Is that true? That puggles are all... they are.
What?
Baby platypuses are called puggles.
Wow. Okay. Well, welcome to the Random Show.
And more.
And more. That's what the and more means. And more can mean anything. That's like the fine print on any show. It's like, and more. You'd have no idea what that means, and neither do we. But apparently, puggles.
Puggles. Baby platypuses are called puggles.
And they're cute little boogers, too.
They are.
According to the pictures that Don had on the screen. Yeah, I don't know. How did that even come up?
I was scrolling through Facebook. I was like, I got to check that out. That's true. Yeah.
I'm sure glad I got your undivided attention here.
Oh,
so.
You do, actually.
Okay.
We're conversing. We're doing the thing here.
So anyway, we got a lot of paranormal stuff to get into. We're going to do a lot of cryptid stuff again. Different stuff. I got to see, what am I going to do first here? That's always the big drill, Don. What's first?
What's first? 1.
That is the
you
first.
Start at 1, and it's the loneliest as well.
Here's something I haven't checked out, but it's an article, and it says 2 ghosts caught on camera at Gettysburg.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What does that mean? You've seen this?
Well, yeah.
Oh, you've seen this video already?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's a good video though.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's a good video. I like it.
Well, we can definitely cue that up for our listening audience, and I'll put a link into the TFR chat as well.
There you go.
So they can be a part of the fun. We have all kinds of fun here. But as you know, if you're listening on TFR, iHeart, TuneIn, or TalkStream Live, we are actually simulcasting on our YouTube channel. We're live streaming our shows. So if you want to see what's going on here and all the mayhem, the visual mayhem that makes up the portal that you're not actually seeing, you can head over to youtube.com/paranormal portal and you'll see us doing this now. Yeah, I don't know. Let me see this video though. I don't want to show the whole thing. Oh, geez.
Oh, it's kind of loud.
It is a lot loud. So yeah, this is good. Okay. So this is a video, ladies and gentlemen, and it has to do with
ghosts
at Gettysburg. Apparently 2 ghosts were captured on film, and we're going to get to that right now. We're going to lead off the show with it, as a matter of fact. And hope you like some Gettysburg ghost stuff. I've not seen this video, so I'm not sure what we're in for here, but we're not going to play the sound, but we are going to play the video. And if you open that link, those of you on TFR, you'll go to the bottom or the lower part of that article, and maybe I should read it first, huh?
Sure, yeah.
Because there is words involved too.
Words. Oh goodness.
It says footage has emerged that allegedly shows 2 ghostly figures at the site of the Battle of Gettysburg. If there's a place in the United States that's become synonymous with ghost stories, it's Gettysburg, the site of the largest and deadliest battle of the American Civil War. This most recent example comes courtesy of 46-year-old Greg Euling, a store manager from New Jersey who had been visiting the area with his family on September 2nd. We were just there as tourists to learn more about the history of the Civil War and to see the old battleground where the Gettysburg Address was given and all of that stuff, he said. We were driving along one night and we started hearing noises, and I heard things to the left and my uncle heard things to the right. And they went down the middle and fight. Sorry.
Oh,
I ad-libbed that part. and there was a fog, but the fog was weird. It was only in the patch, not dispersed. As they continued onward, things took an even more unnerving turn. We saw these shapes moving in the darkness, and they were the size of human beings. One of them ran right through the cannon, said Euling. It was weird, it was scary, and it was crazy. My uncle got so scared that he rolled up the window. Oh, poor guy. Didn't want a ghost jumping in. You can check out the footage below.
The ghost walks through the cannon and he's worried about his window being open.
Roll up the window, quick! And this is really evidence of the paranormal, or could the anomalous shape simply be water on the windscreen of the car? You decide. Well, that's a good point. Let's see what the video is now. I'm going to put it on the screen for your viewing pleasure, those of you on YouTube, and we'll check it out. And again, this won't have the volume, but you can see there they are cruising along. And I guess we're looking around the cannon area here. That's something on the window.
Yeah, I think so.
That was definitely something on the window.
I think so.
Because you could see it before then. Yeah, they got a smudge or something on the window. It does kind of take a shot there, though. But is that the rotation of the camera? I don't know. I guess
I think that's what's causing the movement.
Okay, so here. Yeah, but you see this little mark down below? That's kind of the giveaway.
There's one here, and then he comes across this way.
And you can see that speck down below. There's a little speck right here that shoots along with it. That's the droplet.
That's the droplet.
Yeah, that's the actual droplet down here, the speck. So this is just a water run. It looks interesting because it's catching the light of the cannons. But ladies and gentlemen, I don't think we're going to witness any ghosts in this video. Yep. That is just the water running down the windshield. It does look interesting at first blush, but I'm not seeing anything. Well, let's watch the rest of it here just to see. But I don't think this is paranormal.
It's not paranormal at all. You know, and there, I think those cannons have been filmed before, supposedly with ghosts around them. So, you know, but yeah, that one, if you look at it, you just notice the speck like Brent did. Yep. It's already there. It is something on the window.
Yeah, they're just rotating the camera, and that makes it look like whatever that is in motion, but it's not. I don't buy this one at all. I think it's interesting, but, you know, God knows there's plenty of ghost stuff at Gettysburg that I can't explain. But
right. You know, and it's funny. There's a place called... Oh, what is it called? Devil's Rock. I can't remember. But there was a picture taken there, and it's also in the Gettysburg area. I'm not sure if it's at Gettysburg. But it's a picture of the opening of Devil's Rock, I think it is. It was where, you know, a perfect place to take cover in a fight. And you can see what appears to be like a dead body and, you know, a ghost, the ghost of a dead body. I don't even know. Did dead bodies have ghosts? I don't know.
I think that's
it was
the ghost.
Well, but then there was an upright ghost as well. So I wonder if it's just more stone tape, you know, what do you call it? Stone tape. You call it residual haunting. Residual. So there you go. But there is another one that I found when we were doing the evidence reviews back in 2017, we didn't use it. They're driving down a road in Gettysburg, and off to the left, you can see like 5 ghostly soldiers moving through the trees just to the left of and then you come around, it goes past a rock, and you can see, like ghost soldiers crouching down beside the rock. That one's a really good one too. But this one's got something in it that we believe is not really.
Yeah, I don't think it's
just legitimate. It's just the smudge and the light movement of the light. So yeah.
I don't mean to discourage people from sharing this kind of stuff, because I think, you know, it's hard to tell sometimes just from what you're seeing, but I think that's okay if some of it gets debunked too. I mean, it might be kind of a letdown for the person, like, hey, I got this great footage of something absolutely paranormal, and then to find out, well, it's not really paranormal. But I think it's good for the discussion.
Right.
And it gives you an idea maybe of some things to look for as you're looking at evidence of your own. Ways to, you know, what are you looking for? What's going on?
Right.
But the way it moved, it did look pretty compelling. But as soon as you get an idea of what's actually going on, you know, it's just a great shot of the cannons at night.
Right.
And obviously they were on a ghost drive. I mean, they're in this driving around there at night.
Yeah.
They're looking for ghosts, and that's cool. And got, you know, I can appreciate that completely. But yeah, that one I just don't think is, but it's still great fodder for discussion. Oh man, sorry. I just got a coughing fit there for a second. But I go better.
But I go better.
I go better. Here's another article I wanted to read. This one it doesn't really have any footage with it that we have to worry about, so it's just audible.
Oh.
But it says Japanese military instructed on UFO responses, ladies and gentlemen. This comes from unexplained-mysteries.com, and it is when's the date on this? It's September 15th of this year, so this is pretty new.
Just a couple of days ago.
Just recently. So, Japanese Defense Minister Taro Kono has instructed the country's military on how to respond to a UFO incident. 2 years ago, the Japanese government spoke out on the topic of UFOs by stating that no confirmation has been made of their existence. Well, thanks for that, guys. I beg to differ. Then, during a news conference on April 28th of this year, Defense Minister Taro Kono, spurred on by recent events in the U.S., indicated that he wanted Japan's own self-defense forces to come up with a plan of action for dealing with any potential future encounters with such objects. So it sounds like, well, we want to be out there about this too. I think they were probably burying it before, but they want to be a little more forthcoming, apparently. We would like to establish procedures in the event of the encounter is made with a UFO, he said. Now, according to a new report from Japan, Kono has since taken steps to instruct the Japanese self-defense forces on what to do in the event of a UFO incursion. Most importantly, military personnel should attempt to record the object as best as they can and write down full details of the encounter and the object's behavior. The SDF has also been tasked with analyzing the data and investigating any credible sightings. So far, however, there have been no reports of military encounters with UFOs in the region.
Huh.
Wow, I don't know. I guess they're getting active on it too, which maybe that does encourage the whole idea that we're moving towards, some form of disclosure.
I wonder though, because it's one of those things, you never know, if the Asia in general, China, Japan, Russia, and all the little, the smaller countries in there, what are they releasing? They don't really talk about that kind of stuff. China says, oh, we've been living with them for 80 years, and, we hear things from China, but we don't see much of anything from them, specifically regarding UFOs. We don't see any pictures, but Japan, I don't recall anything really coming out of Japan.
No, I don't either, and I think they were probably on the more stifling end of things, like we're just not going to talk about it, kind of thing.
Yeah,
much like the U.S. military.
Purple cows. Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think it's interesting though that China made that statement. We've been living with these things for a long time, because they've offered nothing in terms of proof or evidence of that. But they make statements like that. So what the hell does that mean?
I wonder if they just want to be like the cool kids on the block.
They're first, yeah. I got the new CD before you guys did. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I got the new PlayStation game well in advance of you guys.
Of course you did.
Yeah.
You live next to the people who make it.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, I think that's, China. I don't know if I believe what they're saying or not, because I think there's a lot of question marks in what their releases are publicly. But I think it's interesting. Anyway, that's not much different than the U.S. Navy making a similar announcement the end of last year, early this year, when they were talking about having new procedures in place for monitoring and reporting this stuff internally. And it sounds like this is an internal thing as well. Why do they need to make public statements about that? I don't know. I guess maybe because they want to show that they're doing something to acknowledge it. I don't know. It's very strange. Why do they need to make these public statements that aren't going to come, to publicly release anyway, probably?
Right.
A lot of these things are just going to get researched and picked apart and maybe filed for some kind of intelligence. But like when the Navy gets someone out. When they said that at first, I was like, oh, cool, they're going to actually have a reporting system, and maybe they'll fill us in. But then it was like, no, this is all internal. It's not
Right.
like you're going to turn on, open the newspaper and see the latest Navy reports of UFOs, which was a disappointment for me personally.
Aaron in YouTube chat says, I think there's a Pokemon joke in there somewhere. Well, yeah, because the Japanese got to catch them all. Duh. Oh, goodness. Anyhow.
YouTube's getting a little flaky here.
Oh, yeah.
Is the video stream going okay, guys? Are you guys on YouTube? You seeing everything okay?
Yeah, they see your stats just fine.
They do, don't they? Well,
Yep.
there they are, ladies and gentlemen. We got an error from YouTube. It's saying, hey, pick up the bandwidth. So, that's not necessarily the camera I wanted to show you. But since it was there, I thought we'd go over
it is.
Let's go over what I'm looking at, ladies and gentlemen. This is here from YouTube. Yeah, I don't know. It is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. So that's some first stuff. That's the and more stuff. We've got more and more as we come forward here, as we move forward with the show. But I got a Bigfoot caught on camera trap in northwest Pennsylvania.
Ooh.
And this is from April 6th of 2019. I don't know what, it does have some kind of picture here. And I guess we can get into that. I'll get a link for our friends on TFR so they can check it out as well. It's not a video, but it is visual. So let me post this over in the TFR chat for those of you that are there, which is so far it's just Bam and Boy Solomon now. It's a very quiet night on TFR, but it's hopping over on YouTube. Woo! That's the party place, I guess. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This one is Bigfoot caught on camera trap in northwestern Pennsylvania. This is coming from animalien.com/Bigfoot caught on camera trap in northwestern Pennsylvania. It's a hell of a URL. All right, it says an American hunter living in northwestern Pennsylvania shared a very unusual snapshot. According to the man, in recent weeks, he began to notice that someone was chasing him in the forest. Oh, dear. A very tall, dark silhouette appeared on the hills behind the trees and rocks. The man, surprised and even somewhat frightened by this, decided to find out whose attention he drew to himself and what animal was following him. And so he set up several trap cameras in the forest. Cameras then that react to movement take pictures and when something flashes in front of them. An animal running past, a bird flying next to it, or even a leaf falling from the tree. The American received several dozens of such pictures, but then camera here's the language I'm reading here. But then camera caught a mysterious stranger for whom it was actually placed. The most amazing thing is that he clearly approached the camera and looked directly into its lens, apparently because of curiosity. A shaggy, massive figure similar to a monkey was imprinted well enough on the photo so that it could not be confused, for example, with a falling leaf. Of course, many, including the hunter himself, felt that the device had caught the legendary Bigfoots. Perhaps the alleged relic hominid noticed that the camera strikingly stands out against the background of everything around and began to look at the strange object with surprise. The picture interested many cryptozoologists. Oh, God, quit clicking on everything. I tried to click on that, but now it's goofy. The picture interested many cryptozoologists and researchers of the Yeti. We call them Bigfoot up in here, or boogers. Most of the experts who studied the photo concluded that it is genuine and shows Bigfoot. Unfortunately, even in this case, the quality of the photo is not so good, but apparently it's such a Yeti creature. Clever and elusive, but certainly curious. Now I'm going to click on this and see if we get a bigger version of it. That's weird.
Oh, okay, okay. So you can see its nose, its arm.
Eye, nose, mouth.
Its arm.
Yep, this is his arm, and he's kind of stooped over like, hey, what is this?
Only you can prevent forest fires.
Yeah. Me look for picnic baskets.
Hey, boo boo.
it says bring beer. No, that apparently could be a Bigfoot, ladies and gentlemen, and I can't refute it. I can't do the quality is absolutely terrible. It's like they must have rubbed the lens with Vaseline before he placed it out there or something, or just got done eating some bacon before he put that camera out.
He's like, let me clear the camera lens. Hold on.
Let me rub this bacon on to keep it waterproof.
We like bacon.
So I don't know how what's is this trail camera from like the 1940s or what? It's got like 2 pixels of. I'm just kidding. It's like one dark area, one light area, but it does seem to have a face, and it does look like it could be legitimate. But it's surprisingly shocking how bad most of these photos are of Bigfoot. Because the trail camera's not moving. If it was a hand that did this, I'd get it. Like, trembling, you get blurry shots.
Oh, well, it's because he was shaking it on the tree. It was
maybe
on the tree and he was shaking it, and it
maybe his other
snapped
arm is
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, maybe his other arm's up there
That's
hammering
what
on
is.
it.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, watch this. Yeah, stable video, stable tube. Yeah, watch this.
Identify this.
This is how they do it. Sorry.
Yeah, there you have it. But no, I mean it is very compelling. I think it could be legitimate. It may not be, but with only one frame of a shot, I don't know. It sounded like there was a whole series of shots that was mentioned in the narrative.
What's funny is even the camera you got, it takes 3 shots,
Yeah.
and then it gets activated, and then it takes 3 shots, and then it stops unless it's activated again.
Right.
Where are the other pictures? Where are the other?
That's what I'm
the
wondering.
other shores? Yeah, exactly.
Was there an image of it further away and then walking up and then stooping over? Or was that the final third?
Yeah, this must be the last one when he's looking at it going, what's this? Because you don't want to see any parts, you don't want to put parts on the internet.
Right. Yeah. We don't need an adult rating or something. Yeah. But no, it's very strange. It could be the real thing, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to make of.
It looks so like a bear to me. I mean,
Does it?
Yeah, give it a little more light, and the snout would stick out a little farther. I think you'd see that it comes out farther, more like a dog, like a bear, and bear snouts are only like 3 inches,
Well,
truncated.
Black bears are bigger than that.
Well, they can be, yeah. But I think I think that looks more like a bear to me, an older bear that's turning gray.
I don't think so personally, but I don't know.
Well, and how far off the ground is that camera?
There's a lot of questions we don't know, and that's a great question. How high up was this? Was it very low? Was it very high? Either way, it's enough to make me go, yeah, maybe. I certainly can't debunk it in any way, but it's it's a claim that's out there, ladies and gentlemen. We're bringing it to you. Come to your own conclusions on that, of course. But I think it's pretty cool, personally. I really do. I think it's pretty cool. Here's one from Bigfoot Report coming out of Utah. Oh, I guess not. Saved by the Bell. We'll be going to break, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go away for more of the Paranormal Portal in just a couple minutes. We're on the network, so we got to take the station breaks. So we'll be right back in just a couple minutes.
Hey everyone.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Paranormal Portal. This is half hour number 2 is upon us. If you're new to the show, if you're on YouTube and you notice that we have to take breaks, it's because we have to take breaks. We're on a network, which is tfrlive.com, as well as being simulcast on iHeart, TuneIn, and TalkStream Live. So we have half-hour station breaks.
Because we get around.
Because we get around. We're setting the pace here. But just got notification, and we're going to show it now. One of our YouTube chatters, Unknown, is an incredibly talented guy and has been working on some really cool video assets, and it's just amazing. He's doing beautiful work, and we're going to showcase one of them now. It doesn't have sound yet. He just sent it to me. I don't think it has sound.
I didn't
hear any sound.
hear
Maybe
any.
it does. Let me turn on the volume just in case. But yeah, we're gonna check that out. Oh yeah, and then Farm messaged me something too. I'll check that in a minute. You guys.
And more.
This is the and more section. But here you go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look at this. We're gonna go full screen. This is kind of a YouTube exclusive, so those of you on TFR, just be patient. It'll only take a second, but let's have a look.
Wow.
Audio Jungle.
Oh, that's cool. I should have left it muted because I probably could get a little strike from that. I don't know. Maybe not. But that is beautiful.
That was cool.
That is really beautiful. I'm going to turn off the sound and we'll watch it. Just again, it's just a really cool video asset. This kind of stuff this is the kind of stuff that I always have to work on for the show. And it's really cool that he stepped up and donated this to us. God bless you, brother. It's beautiful. You do amazing work, and I'm just thrilled. Absolutely thrilled. So thank you so much for that. I will definitely put it to good use. You know I will. So very, very, very cool. I love me some creative folks. We got some of the most talented people.
We do have a lot of talented people that do.
I mean, just incredibly. It's like, we got Taco sending us stuff. Who also made the sign behind us, the lit up sign up there. And now Unknown's sending us video assets. Let me check what Farm might have sent here. I got to look because I just got to look. Oh, okay. So he did a little tweak in here on the images. So I guess we can do this. Hold on.
So that's the original image then, right? The one we were just looking at.
I think he brightened this one up, and then he did a negative there as well. So let's look at those quick. Again, this is just going to be going over quickly, but yeah, you can actually see the face more. You can see the nose, and you can see the crease that goes down to the mouth.
Yeah.
Right there. At least I can. Here's an eye. Here's another eye. Some kind of nose in the middle here. But then you see that's like the wrinkle thing that goes along from our nose to our corner of our mouth. It looks like, anyway, what I'm seeing here. He also made one in black and white, like he did a negative reversal. And, it's interesting. I do think that lightening up was cool, a good idea, because in this image specifically,
Right.
it does look more like a face than a snout to me now, even more to me. But I don't know. Again, I've been fooled before by pictures, and again, I don't pretend to be an expert. I'm just an enthusiast. But very cool, Farm. Thank you for doing that. I always appreciate your contributions. All right, very cool. Very cool. Some great submissions right as we're live. That's the beauty of a live audience, guys, is you guys...
Yeah, it just comes like that.
Just like that, yeah. You guys may keep, adding to our show every moment, every time we're live. So thank you for that. We appreciate it a bunch. And I don't know what this was. I had this video link open for something, but I'm not sure what it was. Oh, this is that one.
That's in Banff.
That's in Banff. That is really cool, though. This is one I think we showed on the show before. I don't want to use it without permission, though, or show too much of it. I think we showed a small clip of it before. That was really compelling. But yeah, I mean, that's some crazy stuff going on out there. Some pretty good evidence is actually being recorded, which is awesome. Let's see. It looks like our YouTube warning is fine now. We're good. So the stream seems to have straightened itself out, Don.
Sweet.
Gotta love that, huh?
Sweet. It's nice when technology works the way it's supposed to.
When that happens, yeah, it's nice. Let's get into another one here. Wow. Argentine police for 2 weeks looking for Bigfoot after an eyewitness report.
Wow.
They kind of take it seriously in Argentina, huh? This is kind of interesting because we don't see a lot of reports coming out of South America, right? So that's South America, or is that Central? Argentina?
Argentina, South America. Yeah.
South America, yeah, I thought so. We don't see a lot of reports coming out of South America. I mean, there are reports out there, and there's been claims of Bigfoot-like creatures there, but this is kind of cool. So this is coming from animalien.com again, and it's strange events are unfolding right now in the Argentinian city of Cairns, or Cairns, I don't know how you pronounce that, the province of San Luis, after reports from eyewitness about an observation of a big black monkey. The police began an active search for this creature, and this is from March 25th of 2019, so just last year. It all started on March 10th, 2019, oh God, when the inhabitants of the rural community noticed a large black creature that moved on two legs as a person and was about 180 centimeters tall. I have no idea what that means. Let me go to Google quick.
About 6 foot.
Are you sure?
Almost.
Okay, let me just do this. How many feet is 180 centimeters? Let's see what it says. That would be 5.9 feet.
Yeah, not too bad.
Don, well played, sir. How come you know what centimeters are? Sometimes you're just spooky. What are you? Are you like a Russian plant or something? Don's like a Cold War leftover.
More like just a cold leftover.
My real name is Yuri.
Yuri.
I am here.
It's the American equivalent to John.
I am here to monitor your American swine. Yes, comrade.
No more talk about that red pass.
So, yeah, okay. So it's about almost 6 feet tall, 5'9". One eyewitness in particular said he saw how this creature easily jumped over a high fence with barbed wire, and he also added that he had seen such incredible jumps only at Olympic athletes. When these reports reached the environmental police, first they decided either a gorilla or some other large monkey escaped from a private zoo was there. Obviously, this is translated, so. But when traces of this creature were found in the same countryside, they turned out to be completely different from the footprints of a chimpanzee or gorilla in shape. They looked like human feet, only larger in size. And there's allegedly a print.
Wow.
And so what I find interesting
is how clean that is.
Well, not only that, but it seems to indicate an arch.
Yeah.
A lot of times our Bigfoot prints, and I don't know what their feet look like down there. I'm sure there's some variations between our two species. Like this could be a cousin of our Bigfoot or something. But it does almost indicate an arch, which is very unusual for, for any kind of anything with a mid-tarsal hinge. You often hear the term mid-tarsal break or mid-tarsal hinge. And that just means that like our feet break up on the ball of the foot. That's where our flexion comes from. But on a larger creature, it would need that hinge to be back further than at the ball. So it's probably somewhere between where our ball of the foot is and just at the front of the heel would be the mid-tarsal hinge, or maybe a little more further up. But it would definitely be further back than the ball of the foot. But the belief is that there's no arch on Bigfoot prints. So whether or not that's true, I don't know. I've never examined prints. This is just what I've heard. So we don't know what it is. Marcelo Diaz, head of the Environmental Police Unit, honestly admits we have suspicions that there are still traces of some animal. For the first time, a strange creature was seen on Sunday evening at about 10 o'clock when the owner of a small dairy farm went outside to the toilet. That was probably newsworthy as well. They could have said he went outside. They didn't have to elaborate. At a short distance from him, he saw a tall black creature who immediately jumped over the fence with the ease of an athlete. Excuse me. The next day on Monday, a new message arrived where another farmer saw this black creature about 200 meters away and was surprised by his unusual gait. We found prints in 2 places in the bushes and on the plain. They look like human ones, but they are very large in size, said Diaz. According to Diaz, there were no reports of missing large monkeys from private zoos, and he doubts that the gorilla could have escaped from some other city and made its way to Kynes or whatever without attracting attention. Diaz also excludes that this could be a circus animal. Excludes, so it's obviously not a circus animal. Therefore, it's not surprising that soon there was a rumor among the residents that the police were actually chasing Bigfoot.
Oh!
Especially, Yeti, and that says Yeti in parentheses, especially believe it after finding traces that do not look like traces of chimpanzees or gorillas. In the meantime, some locals are seriously afraid of this creature, be it a gorilla or something else. According to them, such a large creature can easily attack and maim children or adults. Yeah, I don't know. That's wild. Again, this is great to see reports coming out of there. Because, quite honestly, we don't see a lot from South America.
True.
I don't know what kind of population dispersal they have throughout Argentina. If it's pretty spread out, or is it mostly homogenized in these large cities like it is here?
Right.
But yeah, I guess that's pretty cool. That's cool to hear, to be able to see a report kind of right up close and personal.
There you go.
Usually I just hear them referenced, so that's unusual. But welcome. I welcome such things, Don.
That is perfect, because that's what we do here in the portal.
we do all kinds of stuff in the portal, but yeah, that's part of it too. That's true. I'm just going through these things. No, let me go back to where I was. I was just going to see if I could link from there into some other ones, but I will go back to my preordained page where I'm drawing all of this inspiration for you guys, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, this one sounds pretty cool. These stories are I think, really heartwarming and cool, and they seem to demonstrate that there could possibly be a real intelligence to these creatures and even a kindness. And this one is coming from animalien.com. It's going to be very short, of course, but essentially, it's a woman in childhood was friends with the whole Bigfoot family. The American Bigfoot researcher Linda Godfrey has been in touch with a woman named Susie, it's a pseudonym, from the state of Maine who as a child communicated with a whole family of Bigfoot. Oops.
Yeah, sorry.
In 2017, Godfrey was able to interview this woman where she tells her story in detail. The video in English can be viewed here, but we're not going to view that. It began in the late 60s when Susie, who was then 7 years old, met a large adult Bigfoot near her house to whom she gave the name Waboo, and 2 small Bigfoot, probably his children. Susie actively communicated with the Bigfoot family for several years until about the early 1970s, after which their meetings became much more rare. The private house of the Susie family stood on the shore of a small lake, and one day a girl began to find crushed or broken empty shells of mollusks, snails, and mussels on the shore, and at night, strange, scary sounds came from the nearby forest. Susie couldn't understand who eats shellfish in this place, where there were no animals that ate them, and there were many shells. Sometimes she even found a small hill of empty shells. And after some time, she met these strange creatures on the shore, and it turned out that they were eating mollusks. Mm-hmm. Susie describes in detail how a waboo covered in dark red wool squats in the water of a lake and very quickly eats mollusks, biting through the shells with its strong, big teeth. Oh, man, they don't even pop them open. They just crunch them. According to her, waboo's teeth were very different from human teeth. They were all the same size and had a very square shape. Also, Waboo was great at swimming in the water and even taught Susie how to swim, seating her on his big shoulders. Wow, that's a hell of a story.
Yeah.
Once Susie brought a deck of playing cards to the beach and wanted to play with Waboo and the cubs, but they did not understand anything from her explanations. Then Susie brought them bread and fruit, and they loved it. The Waboo showed her where they live. It was a shelter in the forest created from roughly twisted branches. That sounds familiar, Don.
Yeah.
They were where they spend most of the day going ashore in the evening or at night. In the dark, their eyes glowed red when Susie was playing hide and seek with small Bigfoot. She could always make out at dusk where they were hiding because of the glow of their eyes. Susie confirms that Bigfoot smells really, really bad. Every time Susie played with them, she had to take a bath afterwards, otherwise it smelled badly of her too. Fortunately, her parents did not pay any attention to this. They were busy with their own problems, and they didn't care if their daughter was walking all day at the lake or in the forest. When Linda Godfrey came to Susie to interview her, Susie sure showed her the forest where the Bigfoot lived and where they still live. Susie even made a loud summoning sound to call them, and after that, Linda saw something dark and big behind the trees.
Wow.
But it flashed only for a second, and Linda herself did not see the Bigfoot. Later, one of the locals said that he also saw a large hominid creature in these places. So there is a linked story. It's a video from, it looks like, I don't know which video site this is.
Looks like Vimeo.
Vimeo, yeah, it looks like a Vimeo video. But if Linda Godfrey's attached to it, I have absolute confidence in her reporting and her ability to investigate a story. So
when did that come out? Maybe we'll have to ask her about that when she comes on next time, if we can get her on again.
This is from March 17th of 2019. This article was posted, but we don't know when this video happened or when this site decided to check it out.
Right.
So it's probably older than that, but I don't remember her mentioning this when she was on the couple times that she was on.
No.
So it'll be great to get her back on, and we got to talk about her new book anyway. I Know What I Saw, because that's really cool. If you're not familiar with Linda Godfrey, then you must be living under a rock, because she's the person that wrote The Beast of Bray Road and several other books regarding both regional and issues with Sasquatch and Dogman and other strangeness. She's just a wonderful, wonderful person and a lot of fun to talk to.
Yeah.
I always loved having her on. It was just like, yeah, Linda's coming on, woo, because it's easy. She's one of the easiest people to interview and talk with because it's just so down to earth. So if you haven't seen those shows, go back in our archives. In fact, her first visit with us is still our most popular video. It's got tens of thousands of views. And it's still gaining as many views now as it did when we first released it. In fact, more so now.
Because she's just simply awesome.
Yeah, she really is. She's a wonderful, wonderful person. I love talking to her. So that's a cool article as well. I think so anyway. God, it's already almost 8 minutes till the...
Wow.
Oh, can you believe that? Can you believe that, Don?
Welcome to the portal.
It's a time anomaly up in here, ladies and gentlemen. Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
I don't know. We should have a T-shirt that says it's a time anomaly. I'm a time anomaly. I don't know. Maybe that wouldn't work. I don't know. I'm always thinking on my feet, though. What do you think, Don?
Apparently I don't.
Apparently you don't? Huh.
People start expecting things about that time.
Here's a stupid article. I don't know. Maybe it's not stupid. It just sounds stupid to me. It says, did a solar flare cause the Titanic disaster? Wow. This is a new take on it.
Yeah.
Might as well check it out, right, Don?
Yeah, let's check it out.
Unexplained-mysteries.com. Did a solar flare... What the hell is that? Oh, an ad. Did a solar flare cause the Titanic disaster? It's not really paranormal, but it is paranormal because it's not normal. So it's now believed that a geomagnetic storm interfered with the Titanic's navigation and communications. I thought it was an iceberg that interfered with them. I didn't think it was a magnet.
Oh, boy.
I'm just saying. Situated at 13,000 feet beneath the surface of the Atlantic, the wreck of... I'm not laughing about the wreck, by the way. Just laughing at my own stupidity, believe it or not. The surface, the Titanic, the wreck of the Titanic was discovered in 1985 and has since served as a humbling reminder of the disaster that claimed over 1,500 lives. Many factors have been attributed to the string of events that led to the iconic vessel's demise, including a lack of binoculars for the crow's nest.
Of course.
And the fact that the ship's captain had insisted on speeding through the region known to contain icebergs. Now, however, a new study has highlighted another potential factor that may have tipped things over the edge. A geomagnetic storm produced by a solar flare that may have had an impact on the Titanic's navigational and radio capabilities. The Titanic struck an iceberg at 2340 ship time on April 14th, 1912, in light winds and relatively calm sea state. Witness independent researcher Mila Zinkova, writes independent researcher Mila Zinkova, the Titanic's fourth officer, Joseph Boxhall, worked out the ship's SOS position. Boxhall's position was around 13 nautical miles off their real position. The rescue ship, Carpathia, received the wrong position, but somehow miraculously steamed directly to the Titanic's lifeboats. Both the error and correction may have been caused by the effect of space weather. It's considered here that a significant space weather event, in this instance, a geomagnetic storm, was present during the period around the Titanic's disaster, with some impacts upon navigational and communication. While it isn't clear just how severe the impact of geomagnetic storm may have had on the ship's navigation, even the slightest change of course could have made all the difference. A negligible compass error, which might have resulted from the storm, could have placed the Titanic on a collision course, Zinkova wrote. The geomagnetic storm might have been partly responsible for the incorrect calculation of the Titanic's SOS position in both direct and indirect ways by influencing the compass and by adding to the stress level of the navigators who performed the calculations. I don't know. I don't know how the.
I can believe that there may have been a geomagnetic storm that screwed things up, like the communications and the compass, whatever. The navigation, station, whatever. I can believe that, and I can believe that they could have been rescued. More could have been rescued. If there wasn't such, but I don't think that's what caused it.
Yeah.
It may have been a contributing factor to the loss of life, but I don't think that's what caused it now.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's quite a stretch. I mean, yeah, it might have been present. Probably didn't help anything, but I think they still relied mostly. I mean, if they were already in seas that had icebergs, does it really matter?
Not really.
Whether there was a geomagnetic storm? Because the idea is you watch for icebergs. You're not relying on equipment to find it for you because there was nothing in that, not like sonar or anything back then.
Right.
So they wouldn't have known other than visually. So I don't know. I think it would have crashed either way, but maybe it would have caused that other ship to get there faster and could have saved more people. I don't know. I guess it took like 3 hours to sink or something amazing like that.
Yeah, it took quite a while. Yeah,
like 3 hours. Wouldn't you just take some glue and get down there and plug the hole or something? Yeah,
on it.
Yeah. Take some underwear and stuff from the passengers and jamming them in the holes. I don't know.
Spackle that stuff up.
No, I don't know. It's just, it was such a horrible, horrible event.
Yeah,
of course,
that it was.
I couldn't even watch the movie because,
really?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like one of those things. I already knew how it ended, so it was like, do I want to watch that?
You didn't watch the Jack and Rose, piece of it, the heart of it, the love and the caring that they found over the 4 days they were together, and
I missed that.
The steamy car scene and
nope, I didn't catch any of that. I did catch the door part where Jack's treading water.
Draw me like one of your French girls, Jack.
Jesus. I really wish I didn't have that in my head now, you saying that. I really wish I didn't just hear that. I've got to remember that now, Don. That's not fair. You've got to warn me before you do those things. So I can go la 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 la. I can't hear you la la la. There's some things I'm just not prepared to hear, damn it. That was one of them. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Could have been a geomagnetic storm as part of the problems that they faced. Draw me like a French girl. What the hell? I don't know.
One of the French girls he drew was a one-leg hooker.
Well, I'm sure.
Oh,
Probably,
here you go. Yeah, there's your stump.
yeah, I'm sure the society ladies weren't turning up like, hey, draw me. I don't know. I don't know
She
what the
was
hell.
one of the society ladies.
I know,
actually.
but she was kind of like jive. She was like, into him. So it was more of a sensual act between them.
Yeah.
That
No, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
it wasn't that she just wanted to, be a nude model now.
I wouldn't have minded.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to our hour break.
Wow.
It's a great place for the break to come and cut this off. So we're going to be right back in just a couple minutes. Don't go away for more of the Paranormal Portal.
Help me!
Settle down, Lorena Bobbitt.
Help me!
Everybody likes to play their games. Everybody loves to place their bets. They don't understand the price I paid. They don't care to comprehend. Trace the lines upon my body, ripping scars across my heart. Raging anger boils inside me as their lies keep falling apart. But I'm not talking yet. I'm not talking yet. I'm not talking yet. I am finished with my silence. I am not a stupid boy. No more breaking me with kindness. Just you dance upon my joy. Leading me with empty promise. You're just another fucking mess. Taking off the slice of my sanity. Just make sure that you're well fed. I'm not talking yet. I'm not talking yet. I'm not talking yet.
Never lived anything like it. Carol Ann is not like those she's with. They're attracted to the one thing about her that is different from themselves. Her life force. It is very strong. It gives off its own illumination. It is a light that implies life and memory of love and home and earthly pleasures. Something they desperately desire, but can't have anymore. Right now, she's the closest thing to that.
Poltergeists are usually associated with an individual. Hauntings seem to be connected with an area. A house, usually.
Poltergeist disturbances are of fairly short duration, perhaps a couple of months. Hauntings can go on for years.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're into hour number 2 now. It's upon us. We are here. And thank you so much for being here, everybody. We'll let that synth run out. It's like as I'm trying to talk. But welcome, guys. Hour number 2 is starting right now. Remember, the phone lines are open. If you've got something paranormal you'd like to share, some story of your own. Can be any kind of paranormal story. It doesn't have to be one of Bigfoot's. Even though we're talking a lot about the Bigfoot and the cryptid stuff tonight, which I love talking about, and I assume you guys love hearing about. Don, you love some cryptids?
I do. As a matter of fact, I just found a paper written from somebody in Berkeley. Let me see.
Berkeley.
And it caught my eye. So why do people believe in Bigfoot anyway?
Well, go ahead and read it.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good thing to
Let
read.
my slow computer catch up.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this will be brought to you in 100% beard vision.
Beard vision. Okay, so let's see here. So this is a Cal Alumni Association. Okay. It's by Chrissy Elliott. So why do people believe in Bigfoot anyway? Relatively few people in or out of the field of science believe in Bigfoot. Relatively few people in or out of the field of science believe in Bigfoot.
I'd call BS on that.
A purported Bigfoot sighting would likely be met with the same level of credulity as the discovery of Casper, Elvis, Tupac, or Santa Claus. With only 16% of American Bigfoot believers, you might just write them off as crazy. But contrary to popular assumption, folklore experts say Bigfoot believers may not be as irrational as you think.
May not be as rational as we think.
May not be.
Wow.
May not be. I'm sorry. Did I say rational? No. Let me rephrase it. Let me restate that.
Okay, please do.
But contrary to popular assumption, folklore experts say Bigfoot believers may not be as irrational as you think.
Irrational. Okay.
It's easy to assume that people who believe in Bigfoot are being irrational in their beliefs. Oh, I hate my computer. Stupid laptop. Okay. It's easy to assume that people who believe in Bigfoot are irrational in their beliefs, says Lynn McNeil, Cal grad, folklore professor, and special guest on the reality. She was on Fighting Bigfoot. But that's not really true. People aren't jumping to supernatural conclusions very often, but people are being quite rational. It doesn't mean they're correct. It just means they're thinking rationally. Oh. Okay, so what are some of the reasons why people might rationalize a belief in Bigfoot? Now they're rationalizing the belief. Reason 1, they think they saw a Sasquatch and want to prove to themselves and the world that they are not crazy. A lifelong non-believer thinks she saw a furry man beast with glowing red eyes rooting through her undies on a camping trip. Then she's going to...
Preverts. What a bunch of preverts.
Oh, wow. Okay. Then she's going to have to grapple with that somehow. If she finds herself unable or unwilling to deny that it happened, then she'll probably try to reconcile that unexplained experience with her otherwise logical life. This attempt at reconciliation, says Tuck Thompson of UC Berkeley, grad and professor of anthropology and communications at USC, is pretty common tendency among humans. People want a belief system that is comprehensive and consistent. And if something is out of our belief system, if something in our belief system is inconsistent, we have a cognitive dissonance.
Yep.
Cognitive dissonance. It bugs us. Thompson says, because of this, we try to make sense of the seemingly fantastic by weaving it into our currently held perspectives. A popular way of doing this is looking at scientific proof, or for scientific proof. This, McNeil explains, is why many Bigfoot hunters are desperate to find tangible evidence to prove Sasquatch's existence. It's why reality shows like Finding Bigfoot have scientists tag along with amateurs on Sasquatch hunting excursions. And why the Bigfoot BFRO has been collecting information on evidence and sightings since 1995. People hope that they'll find evidence that will both satisfy the scientific method and validate their beliefs. Here we go. Grover Krantz, the Cal grad and well-respected anthropologist to come out in support of the search for Sasquatch, is a great example. Though he never encountered Bigfoot himself, his review of the evidence led him to believe that the creature was real. He risked his entire career as a professor to accommodate his beliefs in the creature, including being turned down for promotions and grants and nearly getting fired. Though his dedication to the search may seem absurd, the practice of using science to reconcile a paranormal belief is surprisingly common. Now it's paranormal. Well, I guess kind of it is. Yeah. It falls into that strict definition.
Yes.
If you've owned a television over the last couple decades, you might have seen at least one episode of Ghost Hunters. A show in which people use doodads like digital EMF meters, ambient thermometers, and lures soaked in primate pheromones to collect scientific evidence of spirits. So why would they use primate pheromones to collect evidence of spirits? Okay, the show has been going strong since 2004, and with almost half of Americans admitting to be a belief in ghosts, it isn't surprising. Then there's Graham Hancock, a controversial journalist who leads the charge of people looking for proof that advanced ancient civilizations existed 12,000 years ago, an idea that 55% of Americans believe to be true, despite scientific protestations against it. I hate this article. According to these statistics, at least every other person walking among us believes in ghosts or ancient civilizations. And knowing how people react to survey questions, McNeil says there are likely more believers in all of these so-called myths, including Bigfoot, than the data lets on. It's really easy for us to imagine that belief is either or proposition. You either believe in something or you don't. And that's not really the case. Polls are always asking people whether or not they believe in aliens or ghosts. But the thing is, if they're only options. Oh, gosh, I can't read tonight. I'm so dang tired. But the thing is, if they're only options for an answer or yes or no, then they know what the answer is. The right answer is no. But if you give people more room and ask them to talk about their beliefs, what you find is a gray area that most people are existing in, where they say, well, I haven't seen hard proof myself, but I have a really good friend or family member or someone I trust who's seen Bigfoot. Or they'll say, well, I don't believe in this stuff, but I did see Bigfoot one time. That's I don't believe in it, but I saw Bigfoot.
Yeah, isn't that something?
Ironically, another reason people might believe in Bigfoot is that it would put them at odds with their community if they didn't believe. Reason 2, their tribe believes in Sasquatch, so it would be weird if they didn't. Studies show that a person is more likely to believe in fringe or paranormal ideas if they're a West Coast resident, with California largely. Really?
You West Coasters.
Oh, you weirdos. That's why it's called the left coast. Studies show, West Coast resident, with California largely being known as Bigfoot country. Brr? And according to the BFRO, over 430 sightings have been reported in the state since the 1940s. Bigfoot represents the Pacific Northwest in a huge way. Show me how California's in the Pacific Northwest. It's been taken up as emblematic of the area. You've got Sasquatch festivals. You've got Bigfoot statues.
Did you almost call out Wes?
No.
Sorry.
No, maybe his show, but not Wes. No. Gosh, no. It's almost like you should believe in Bigfoot at least a little if you live in that area, like cultural pride or patriotism. The controversial 1967 Patterson-Gimlin film, which is held up by believers as the only legit evidence of the creature, despite most scientists declaring it's a hoax and actually shot in North California. Filmmakers Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin recorded what they swear was a real Bigfoot taking a stroll in Humboldt County along Bluff Creek, a tributary of the Klamath River. In the footage, Patty, the Bigfoot, assumed to be female because she has enormous boobs, looks over her shoulder at the camera before striding away. Between the late 1950s and early 2000s, some 40 more reports of Bigfoot encounters were reported in the Humboldt County area, an apparent hotspot for the fuzzy giant.
Apparently.
Social networks and culture, more than any other influences, Thompson says, are what propel stories and give them staying power. For example, most people who believe in the Loch Ness Monster are from Scotland.
I got to interject something, though, quick, just as it's part of the context. They're kind of alluding that people are more likely to believe something if they're in a peer group of people that believe something.
Right.
Well, duh. I mean, because
that's the point.
you're surrounded by people that I believe in it, and here's why, blah, 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 blah. It's the same for political stuff. If you're around a group of one political affiliation, you're probably going to end up steering toward your beliefs towards that.
Right.
Unless you actually have your own brain. But, yeah. And I'm not saying either
well
way.
Put.
My point is that, whoever your peer group is, if you start hearing facts and evidence as they perceive it, of course you're going to start to subscribe with it because you respect those people, you like them, and you trust what they're saying.
Right, and you're most like the 10. Your biggest influencers are the 10 people you spend the most time with.
Right, exactly.
So you're going to emulate them, but maybe not consciously, but you'll emulate.
Yeah, you'll take
more.
on parts of them into your life, but they kind of make it sound like some kind of cognitive dysphoria, like, oh, well, you're just around people that believe it. That's why you believe it. Well, duh,
Well, yeah, and it's by choice. I mean, it's not exactly like you can be around these people and not believe.
Right.
I mean, yeah, you can, but don't be a Michael Sherman about it, but whatever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, be open-minded. You can disagree. I disagree with a lot of the things that we talk about. Sure. Okay, I disagree with some of the things, whatever.
Yeah, but you're your own person.
And I give the way I see it. I tell you. So, yeah, but I mean, here I am, and I'm trying to understand what's going on and these things that we talk about it. And so, and this is what we do.
But that was my point. Is that it's kind of played in that article as if there's something you're not doing on your own. You're just letting other people influence you. But that's not the case.
Yeah. No, we're here because we're like-minded individuals. Period. And that's what your social groups are. As a matter of fact, that's actually the definition of a cult. So,
I'm a cult of personality.
Well, whatever. For example, most people who believe in the Loch Ness Monster are from Scotland, and more than half of Icelanders believe in the Icelandic hidden elf people called the Huldufolk, to the extent that building projects are often changed or waylaid so as not to disturb the rocks where they are assumed to live. Humans tend to gather our beliefs socially, not from reading the newspaper, not from reading scientific journals, not even from religious leaders. Most people, I would say, gather their belief systems from their social group. Thompson says, probably the strongest component of most people's belief is folk belief, so the beliefs of the people, not necessarily what the scientific and PhDs say.
Yeah.
A considerable amount of native tribes from the west coast of British Columbia to the Pacific Northwest, where Bigfoot tales originated, believes the creature exists. The word Sasquatch is actually assumed to be an Angelican butchering of the Salish tribe's word.
Sahelish, yeah.
Sa-
Sahelish, yeah.
There's no H in that.
So
Salish.
that might, okay.
It's
Sahelish?
It's Shlish. Salish.
That's weird.
Well,
Okay.
anyhow, word Sasquatch, meaning hairy man or wild man. In the late 50s, when an influx of sightings occurred at Bluff Creek, a Humboldt Times reporter asked a local elderly Hoopa Indian if he knew about Bigfoot. Now, I'm just folks, I'm just reading the story. That's all I'm doing. If he
Pick up your free pitchforks and burning torches after the show.
Exactly. The man, seemingly incredulous, responded, "Good Lord, have the white men finally got around to that?" So I would say his answer is yes, he believes. According to Thompson, a widespread acceptance of the existence of Sasquatch is a rare example of Native Americans transferring beliefs to Anglo-Americans. They're two very radically different cultures, even though we borrowed a lot of words and terminology from the the Native American culture. Not much of the supernatural world of Native Americans has found its way into the Anglo-American world. And Bigfoot seems to be the exception, Thompson says. Bigfoot kind of reminds us of Native Americans living out in the forest trying to escape detection. That is a BS statement right there. Oh my goodness. Wow, this thing's long.
It is really long.
So let me just get the bullet points of the reasons.
Okay, please.
Believing in Bigfoot keeps hope alive that people can be self-sustaining and that humans haven't totally destroyed the environment beyond repair.
Oh my God. I think that's hogwash. Okay, anyway.
Number 4, lack of proof doesn't disprove that Bigfoot exists. It's hard to declare with certainty that Bigfoot is a fake. Well, I guess that was it.
There's an old saying, the absence of evidence is not necessarily evidence of absence. And I think that is certainly true. Although I do question what people will quantify as evidence, because there's tons of evidence. There's anecdotal evidence. There's hundreds and probably thousands of prints that have been casted in some of the most remote areas out there that people just don't go. They're finding huge footprints way out of the way. And it's like, well, who's hoaxing out there?
Yeah. Why would anybody go all the way out there where nobody's going to see it except for a few, hardy souls that go out there and hike and camp and things like that? What would be the point?
I'm going into the backcountry to work on my prints.
Yes.
No, but it's absolutely ridiculous. A discussion point came up in chat about using clicks in communication. And I was thinking, you know what? We do use clicks. We use clicks in our communication. Just
way.
Like
What?
Maybe not traditional clicks, but
Well,
but it is kind of a click. It's a noise.
Right.
And in that noise, that one noise, that I'm thinking, what the hell? I mean, that's like the same thing as saying, what the hell?
Right. Right. It's like when your mom does that. She's looking at you and goes,
Yeah, it's a click and huff. I mean, could you imagine being outside looking at that? Wow, she just did a click and a huff, and that other one knew what it meant. So,
the last paragraph here. It's a beautifully messy, confused patch of information surrounding Bigfoot, and because of that, the legend sticks. McNeil says, what keeps legend going is the possibility, the ambiguity.
Yeah.
Legends are ways that we discuss and articulate what may or may not be possible in reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not, wow.
Well, it's obviously part of academia, so I mean they gotta make it sound
Well, it's from
kind of like hallucinations, I
It's-
guess.
Yeah, well, it's also from UC Berkeley.
Our apologies to any UC Berkeley graduates that happen to be tuning in, but or alumni. But there does seem to be some cognitive dissonance going on there. I'm just saying. But yeah, it's fine. I mean, it's one person's opinion. It's their paper, whatever. But I think that they oversimplify so many things and just kind of lump it into a delusion and in a manner of speaking. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that that's fair. I don't think you can.
Yeah, I think that's too much of a generalization.
Right, exactly. I think so too, and it's a frustrating generalization because
Yes.
obviously we're not crazy. Obviously, Don, right?
Yes, no, we're not. No, the voices don't
That
tell
was
me
way
anything.
too slow, man. We
Sorry.
rehearsed it way better than that.
Well, you know what happens when we
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, there you go. So it's just another one of the fun pieces of life. Being a believer is not there's nothing dysfunctional about that. I think it's wonderful. I don't think that it's an embarrassing thing. Hell, I talk about this stuff openly, obviously. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've got this show going that we talk about this stuff all the time. The point is that you can't discount all of the piles of evidence, even if it's not what you want.
Right.
Even if it's not what you think it has to be. The point is that there's a lot of people seeing these things. There's a lot of people finding these prints and casting them. And there are hair samples. There's allegedly blood samples. There's some DNA testing has been done that has anomalous results. And all of that just can't be wiped out. There's photographic evidence. There's probably amazing photographic evidence out there that for one reason or another, people don't want to put it out there because obviously you enter a septic tank as soon as you put that stuff out there of ridicule and accusation and from both the community and outside of the community. So you're already getting attacked by everyone else that doesn't happen to subscribe to that theory. But then you get attacked in the community too, which is like, wow, what team are we on here? So I think that but again, there is a lot of information out there. There's a lot of experiences, and in the next half hour, we're going to get into some of them. We're going to go through more BFRO reports of sightings. So if there's a state you want me to cover as we go through the BFRO catalog, let me know which state you want me to talk about. Last night we talked a few out of Texas.
Texas, the big thicket.
It's inconceivable. So if you want to talk about a state you're in, let me know which state you're in, and we'll talk about some reports coming out of your
Does confusion count?
Well, I don't think they got any listings for that one, Don.
Damn.
But
Dang it.
And I'm not sure I'm capable of reporting on your confusion. So, but
I want you to.
Can you believe it? We're almost at
Wow.
we're like 2 minutes out.
Wow. And that's the third break? This is last
That's
break?
it. That's yeah.
Wow.
I mean, we're almost actually done. We actually cracked 50 people there for a while, but we lost them. Well, no, it's been a quiet night here on the show. I'm not sure if there's something else going on out there, some big hoo-ha someone else is throwing it, but it happens. But we are absolutely thrilled that all of you are here that are here on YouTube, and those of you listening on TFR, iHeart, TuneIn, and TalkStream Live. You guys bring smiles to our hearts.
Our hearts.
And continue to spread the word, please.
Yes.
If you're in the chat, definitely. We've got 47 viewers and 41 likes. We're doing solid, really.
Oh,
That's
nice.
a pretty solid ratio. 48, we're getting more. They're coming down. They heard me.
Oh, good gosh. It's about time.
I'm summoning them with my powers. No, but we're going to go to our last break here in just a minute. I just wanted to take a moment and say, if you're watching the show or listening to the show on TFR, iHeart, TuneIn, or TalkStream Live, coming up following the Paranormal Portal is Paisley Wild. Spaces between. She's going to be doing her thing. So she's a good friend of ours, and we, really trying to help her out, get people to check out her show because she does a wonderful job. And it's her pagan journey. She talks about a lot of esoteric things, crystals, energy, meditation, practices, nutrition, and what?
Tonight she's talking about the solar plexus chakra.
Oh yeah, she's been going through the chakras, and so she did the root chakra, and now she did the sacral chakra.
Yeah,
Yep, and now she's moving up to the solar plexus.
that's correct.
So there's 7 chakras, and she's talking about those energy centers, what they mean. You can certainly go back and listen to her back shows regarding the other ones if you want that information. But it's a great idea because I think those energy centers are important. I mean, they really are. I am a believe it or not, I'm a trained massage therapist, and the training that I went through was not like a lot of the medical style training now. It was very esoteric. It was very geared towards energy, polarity, meridians, acupressure, etc., and doing energy balances on people and energy therapies, massage, all that. And it was one of the most amazing experiences of my life. So knowing that kind of stuff will only help you is my point. But so check out the spaces between after the portal, but we'll be right back in just a couple minutes for the last half hour of the Paranormal Portal. Don't go away. That's an order. We'll be right back.
The reviews for Extendivite are amazing. Here are some from Amazon, September 2018.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. We are back at it. Last half hour of our show tonight, if you can believe it. It always goes really quickly. I'm not sure why, but I guess it's because it's so darn entertaining. At least that's what I'd like to believe, but we are down to the last 25 minutes of the show. So actually the last half hour is not quite a half hour. But we're here to go through it with you. As I stated, we're going to go through some BFRO reports. So did anybody say a state?
Brad says Indiana.
Indiana, says Brad. Well, let's see what's going on in your world, Brad. Let's see. Okay, any county in, let's see. There's Bartholomew, Blackfoot, Boone, Brown, or Blackford, rather. Clark, Crawford, Dearborn, Decatur. There's a bunch of counties. Let me just find the one that has what looks like the most sightings. Here's one with 8 sightings, and this is Monroe County.
Monroe County,
Indiana. So let's see what they're saying in Indiana. Class B, Class B, Class B. There's a Class A from 1989 or 1990.
Wow.
And another one from 88, and then another one from 79. So the most recent one is 2009, according to this. So,
wow.
So this is a Class A in Indiana, and it's Monroe County. It's a pretty quick one. It says, and a Class A is sighting, that you're seeing the Bigfoot creature. Class B is probably hearing sounds and evidence of a Bigfoot being present. Could be howls, could be other things. And Class C, I don't know. I don't remember.
Brad says that's where I used to hunt.
Perfect.
Excellent.
Isn't that
We
funny
hit the
that
spot.
we would hit the exact spot? So it's the nearest road was Lakeshore Drive, and it's Unionville area is the nearest town. Excuse me. And this comes from 1989 or 1990. Observed in southern Indiana, Unionville, October 1990 or 89, my sister and I were on our way home late at night, approximately 2 a.m., when a Bigfoot walked in front of my sister's Honda, touching the front of the vehicle. It was very hairy, had long arms. It walked upright, but this creature had a sideways gait, as though limping or injured. It looked straight at us and walked slowly. It did not appear to be afraid. It was approximately 5'4". That's pretty small.
Yeah, it's tiny.
That's dinky. That's
It's like prepubescent.
That's like midfoot. That's not quite middle foot. About 5'4", I'd say. It closely resembled an orangutan. It was dark, but the creature was within feet of us. It was cool out, but I don't recall rain.
Wow.
So it was in October in Indiana. That's very strange. Not an incredible report. That's very interesting, though. Why was it so small? Now,
that's a good question.
There is a possibility that they would have dwarfism present potentially within their, that's species as well. It's not just us, people that have dwarfism or whatever the correct term is. And I'm not trying to, call anybody out with anything inappropriate, but it is obviously happens in our genome. So I can suspect if they are part human, that perhaps this is something of that nature in this. And if it was that small, perhaps the weird gait was just some kind of other deformity, maybe something to do with the hips, as having a dwarfism. Now, obviously, I have no idea. I'm wildly speculating, but that's what's coming to my mind is that if it's all by itself and it's little like that, I don't know. Very wild, though. Very cool story. Very cool encounter, rather. So that was the first Class A. The next one is from 1988 in Monroe County, and this one says, this is coming from in the Hindustan is the nearest village, only a few homes and a small church, perhaps 3 to 4 miles away on Old 37. The town of Martinsville is about 5 miles to the north, and the town of Bloomington is about 15 miles to the south. This incident took place in the Morgan-Monroe State Forest on the main forest road, about 1 or 1.5 miles east of the forest entrance that is off of the state road, Old 37, rather. So it says, this is a hell of a narrative. It's a long one. So it says, this took place while on the last day of firearm deer season in November 1988. It was after sunset, but not yet dark. The temperature was in the mid-90s, or 30s, rather. That's a 3, not a 9. I need glasses. It was in the mid-30s, but the ground wasn't frozen, and were still patches of snow on the ground in places. I came out of the woods, put my shotgun, heavy winter coat, and day pack in the trunk of my car, and got inside the car to start it up when a movement to my left caught my eye. I will tell you what I saw and what I thought it was. As I was seeing as this happened. This man / Bigfoot came out of the thick brush between the trees to my left on the opposite side of the road from where I was parked. Maybe 35 or 40 yards down the road at an angle, but it had to know that I was there, and at least that my car was there. When I first saw this thing coming out of the thick brush, the first thing I thought was, where in the heck did he come from? Then I thought, stupid guy, no hunter orange, and then I began to notice strange things like he had no gun, and that he was the same color from head to toe. No hat, no hunter orange. But then what I really noticed was that the arms were long. His hands were swinging at his knees. And though he was taking large steps across the road very quickly, but without running, he was just walking. His arms were swinging wide like a British soldier marching, but he didn't seem to be in any hurry, and he completely ignored me like I wasn't even there. But he had to know that I was there. He did not look over and kept his head looking straight ahead. And he went into the woods on my side of the road as I was parked on, and went down the hill and disappeared. My eyes told me that I just saw a Bigfoot, but my brain and common sense was trying to dispute that. His color was dark brown, and I thought could have been a man in a one-piece Carhartt outfit. Hold on, I got a cough. A Carhartt outfit. Sorry, I got to get a drink. Where was I now? Carhartt outfit. There it is. It's just one big block of text, so it's like there's no paragraphs. It's like paragraphs are an afterthought here. It was in a one-piece Carhartt outfit, or if he were a hiker lost, wouldn't he have stayed on the road rather than go down a steep hill where it was almost dark? Or if lost, he didn't ask me for help. He was about 6 feet tall, but very husky, and his hands and body and feet side of his head face all one color. I actually couldn't see fur because the light was really dim, but I could see the trees and tree trunks fine, but not the bark because the tree trunks were silhouetted, and that's what I mean about not seeing the fur. It was all one shade of dark brown. Now, all of this that I just told you took place in a minute or less. Soon as it disappeared over the side of the hill, I jumped out of my car, opened my trunk, and loaded my shotgun for self-defense only, put on my winter coat, and got my flashlight out of my day pack and walked to where I thought the thing went over the hill. I wanted to check out what I just saw and was hoping to find a footprint in the ground or on a patch of snow, and I went slowly back and forth, traversing this rather steep hill, going a little deeper down as I moved back and forth. There was a deep like gorge on the right side of the hill, and I looked up towards the road, and by now the ridge on top was just a slither of gray. And looking over my shoulder, I realized this was not too smart. It was pitch black below me, and I got a little scared and hiked back up to the road and to my car as fast as I could. I placed my shotgun back in the case along with my heavy coat, putting them in the truck, and then I drove up and down the main forest road to see if there were any cars parked off to the sides of the road or if there was anyone walking. I saw nothing. I drove to the valley road where I thought this thing would eventually come out at the bottom of the hill into the farmlands, and I drove back into the end of this valley and drove to the end of this valley and back, hoping to see something, but saw nothing. I've been waiting to make a report of what I saw and have told my wife, children, teenage granddaughters, brother, and 2 close hunting buddies, but have always been hesitant to make a report. The truth is, though, I am sure what I saw wasn't a man, and I can't prove it wasn't a man dressed up in a suit, but who would be that stupid, especially during hunting season? Mm-hmm. I can't say positively that it was a Bigfoot, but that is what my eyes saw. Logic says no, my eyes say yes, And that's my report, the best of what I can remember it. I am glad to get this off my chest. If this helps in any way, then that's great. But please use only my first name. That's pretty cool. Again, most sightings are just like this, just brief glimpses. And, you know, as the conditions he stated, even if he had a camera, now this is back in 88, so he probably didn't. It's not like people were running around with cell phones in 88. I don't think if there were cell phones, they were like suitcases. You know, they weren't these little pocket computers that we have now, these smartphones we have now. And if they did, of course, the camera would be just trash. And especially in that lighting, all you get is a black return. So it's pretty cool. Nothing extraordinary, but still, I mean, even seeing one of these things is extraordinary in my opinion.
Well, once again, though, we're also at midfoot, 6 foot.
Yeah, the 6 foot mark. I don't know. Yeah. That's unusual to me that we have two of them now that are much shorter. Now it was dark, but I would think if it was really big, he would have known it. But what if he wasn't even in the right area because it was dark? He thought it was closer, or it was actually further away than he thought it was,
right? Because
of that size. Maybe it was 9 feet and it was much further back on the road than he anticipated. But with the low light, I don't know. Just throwing ideas out there, but very, very strange. Good report though.
Yeah.
Very, nice. Very well done. There's one other Class A. I'm not going to worry about Class Bs because those are less information. Well, there might be plenty of information, but it's more, I heard this, or I found a footprint. I think a footprint is Class C. I don't know. I can't remember. Can't remember the class breakdown, but ABC. This one is coming from 1979 as the year. It was fall. Again, all three of these Class A's were in fall. Mm-hmm. And this gets back to the discussion we had on the last show when I said that deer hunting and hunting season is not a deterrent for these things. In fact, I think I agree with most researchers that have this opinion that it's like the dinner bell. They know they can steal kills real easily, and so it's obvious we're going out and doing all the work, and they can grab a deer for the family and head on out. I mean, how many hunters shoot things that they can't find?
Right. Yeah.
It happens all the time.
All the time.
Yeah. And where are those things going? Well, what if some of those, and I'm not saying all of them, but some of them are getting picked up. They're getting taken away.
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, that to me makes perfect sense. But, believe what you wish. It's not about, I'm not here to impress anybody's belief system, but I think that stuff is interesting. This one is 1979, November, Indiana, Monroe County. Its nearest town is Harrodsburg. Observed after caving in a local pit off of Popcorn Road in Monroe County, I decided to wait on the surface while my two fellow cavers, after caving in. Oh, okay. So they're caving. They're cave exploring, not filling in holes. Right. I was like, why are they filling in holes? Okay. My two fellow cavers did the next pit. I was sitting in the back of my Jeep reading, and I saw a silhouette moving south just within the tree line. Thinking this was the landowner, I got in my Jeep and walked up to the tree line. Got out of my Jeep and walked up to the tree line. The Jeep was parked in a small grassy clearing used for camping, and the two pits were approximately 50 feet east of the Jeep, with the fence and tree line 10 to 20 feet beyond the pits. The trees were bare of cover, and it was a bit overcast. I waited at the fence, and I kept an eye on the silhouette moving towards me, and I called out once, twice, with no reply. The thickness and number of trees and the overcast made it hard to see details of the silhouette. The silhouette moved past me, and the only noise I heard was the slight crunching of leaves on the ground. Still not able to make out more than a silhouette, and thinking this was the landowner or local, I called out again and waved at the silhouette. It was now approximately 50 to 60 feet from me. A bit confused and thinking that the silhouette did not hear me nor saw me, I moved down the fence line to a small opening cut into the trees for a power line. I stood at the fence line waiting, and the silhouette moved into the opening. I called out again and froze. The silhouette also froze and turned its head towards me. We stared at each other for 10 seconds or so. No other interaction took place, and then was able to view the silhouette and make out some detail. The silhouette stood approximately 6 or 7 foot tall, was covered in long brown fur or hair, and stood on two legs with a bit of a bend forward. After the brief stare, the witness turned its head back and continued to walk back into the trees, and I returned to my Jeep. Officially, I cannot say for sure that it was a Bigfoot, only that it was walking upright on 2 legs and had 2 arms, a chest, a torso, and was covered in long, dark brown fur or hair. Wow. Now, that's a good story.
You know, it's interesting. Where was that? So all these happened in Monroe County in Indiana, right?
Yep.
So, and all of them mentioned that they were under 7 feet because this one was 6 or 7 feet.
Yeah.
So they're getting a little bigger. It went from 5'4" to 6 foot to 6 or 7 feet.
Yeah.
You know, so I wonder if they have a smaller, stature type of Bigfoot there.
Yeah, or they're just younger,
Or
I
they're
guess.
it's just the young ones playing games. You know, and we've been told that, though. We've been told that the young ones will play games with people, and as they're learning to be like dad or whatever, that they'll play games, and some of them sometimes get spotted. You know, it's like hey, let's play get spotted by the hairless ones.
Let's get spotted by the bald people.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yep.
But so interesting idea.
It is, and Bear. Interestingly enough, in that story, he talked about the knees and Bear, when he was on the show, Jim King of the Bigfoot Outlaws, he talked about he doesn't believe they can straighten their legs completely. That they can't lock their knees like we can. Right. Like we can extend our knees to a locking position and just hold it, but he says that he doesn't believe they can do that. And I tend to believe him. I think when he talks, I generally trust what he's got to say.
He's been in it for decades.
Yeah, exactly, and that's interesting with the bit of a forward bend with the knees, and that's definitely a verification of what Bear said. So very cool. But that was Indiana. So any other states anybody want to hear about?
Somebody called out Ontario. Is there anything Ontario in Canada there?
There is, as a matter of fact. I got to go to the Canuck stuff. The Canucky reports. Let's see, geographical index. Let's go to Canada. Is it Ontario, you said?
Yes.
Oh, there's 68 total.
Wow, okay.
68 total reports out of Ontario on the BFRO. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the BFRO is not the only site where people report stuff.
It's just the easiest one to get to.
Yeah, this is a Class A sighting, daytime sighting behind a cabin near Westport. Sorry. Westport.
Are T-shirts involved?
Yeah, but unfortunately, they're probably mine. All right, this is from the year 2008, summer, August 15th, in Ontario, Canada, in Westport. County Road number 10 is close, nearest road. Observed, I just woken up and it was a lovely sunny August morning. So I pulled up the blind and looked out of the window on the 2nd floor at the back of our cabin. I said to my husband, "There's a man walking through our woods." He said, "Let's go and see who it is." Then it happened. I suddenly really felt fearful and said, "No." After that statement, I had been replaying the sight like a full internal video with plenty of questions in my mind, like there were no clothes, and am now glad to find your sight. As soon as I looked out, I saw a large dark figure stride out of the forest and into a small grass clearing about 40 or 50 meters from the back of our cabin. The figure was over 6 feet and was mostly medium brown, with different colored brown patches and one patch of hay-colored yellow on its side that stood out in the sun. It walked with a fluid grace and in 3 long strides crossed the clearing. And then it turned its face towards me for a split second and had a dark grayish flat face, which to me had no brown patches. Also noticed later that morning we heard crashes and breaking twigs in the forest behind our cabin, and later we had a rail come from the swamp. What the hell's a rail? R-A-I-L, come from the swamp area screaming and petrified in a way I've never heard before.
I think it may be supposed to be quail.
Oh, quail?
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know if you'd notice when a quail was screaming. I'm thinking it's some kind of animal. I don't know. There was one other witness, and it was 9:30 a.m. It was a bright sunny morning, so it wasn't even at night. It wasn't even low light.
Right.
Our forest is a shield forest. Lots of white pine, maples, oaks, a mount of rock outcroppings and small grassy areas. From the road, the forest goes to a ridge which runs above a stream, and a large swamp. So, again, this is from 2008 in Ontario. Very cool. There's quite a bit of follow-up from the BFRO investigator, but we won't get into that. I like just reading the reports.
Right.
That to me is pretty cool. Let's see, is there another Class A? Yeah, there's several from Ontario. Summer of 2007 is another one. Let me check the time here to see what we got. 5 minutes. This will probably be one of the last things we'll talk about here. But this is from 2007 in the summer. That was me doing 2007 and the summer in one, and that ends up with 2000 summer.
Nice.
Just west of town, less than 2 kilometers from Fort Francis. And Fort Francis, Ontario is the closest town. Highway 11 is the nearest road. One evening last year, August or September, I believe, I was driving into town, proceeding easterly on Highway 11. As I was just outside of town limits, the curve immediately before the window and glass store here in Fort Francis, I saw something cross the highway going from south to north about 500 meters in front of me. It was around 7 p.m., so there was still ample daylight left, and the weather was perfect. No fog around 7 p.m., so there was still ample daylight left, and I already read that line. It's just this jumble of text is really tough. No fog or etc., and what I saw stood about as tall as a moose. Oh, this is a big one, Don.
Yeah.
I can tell you firsthand how big moose are. There was one that was in our backyard. It was a big mama with a big baby.
Right.
The baby was 6 feet tall at least, and the mama was well over 7 to 8 feet tall. It was just enormous. So if it's the size of a moose, that was a big animal. Big animal.
It starts with A. Yes, that starts
Animal.
with A. Animal.
Yeah. In
Animal.
fact, I thought it was a moose at first, except something was wrong with the picture, and it was striding across the highway on 2 legs. I remember thinking, where's the other half of the moose? The hair looked as if it had the same texture as moose fur, hair or whatever, and a bit darker. It seemed quite well practiced at walking on 2 feet, not like a bear at all. It simply crossed from the woods on the south side of the woods to the woods on the north side. And I sped up a bit, hoping to catch a glimpse of it as it went deeper into the bush, but I had no luck. There was no other witnesses to this. It was just this person traveling east on the road. Very wild. Again, it's shocking because the behavior is what I find the most interesting, is that generally they seem to avoid us, but then in situations like this, it could have just waited. The woman would have went past, had no idea, and then just crossed absolutely unhindered. But it chose to be seen. It had to have chose to be seen. And I find that absolutely incredible. It's like, why does this being, this creature that seeks to avoid us, lives away from us, and may forage on the fringes of our societies and stuff, but for most intents and purposes, it doesn't want anything to do with us. But yet, they want to be seen. They have to want to be seen. If they're intelligent at all, they got to know there's people in those things moving down the road, and they got to know that those lights are going to show them. So I don't understand why they're so brazen at times. But again, Bear brought this up. He said that he believes it's the younger ones that are doing something called counting coup, where it's like challenges to each other, like, hey, watch this. I'm going to walk in front of those people's car.
Right.
You know, not that they know the word car, but I'm just, I'm paraphrasing. I don't know Bigfoot for car. So, but you know, and that does make sense to me, because obviously it's no mystery that we're watching. And it's no mystery people are seeing these things. And the funny thing is when they're seeing them, these things are like, oh, geez, let's go. You know, they're just like, oh, yeah, they just have this passing acknowledgement, like, yeah, all right. And they just wander doing their thing. And it seems absolutely indifferent to the presence of people. Right. But behaviorally, we know that that's not the case. So that's the big conundrum. Why? They wouldn't have to be seen at all. It would be very easy for them to avoid us seeing them ever. But it's like they like us to know they're there. And maybe there's a purpose to that. Maybe it keeps people from really wanting to go out into their areas. You know, if you see this giant thing walking around, it's like, yeah, I don't feel like hunting ever anymore.
Yeah, no
you
doubt.
know. So maybe that's their version of conservation. They just show up and we go, no, you know what? I don't like hunting anymore, ever.
Our time's up. Our time is literally up.
Well, that's the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for being here and being a part of our discussion and a part of our journey through the paranormal portal. Thank you so much, Don. Quickly.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Who was it that gave us a couple bucks today? Was it? I don't remember, but thank you.
All right. We love you guys. Be good, be kind, be nice.
2
Take care of
hours.
each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day. And remember to laugh as much as you can.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody. Love you. And I'll be back tomorrow night with the night terrors. Good night.